Hello, St. Joseph's. This is the last week of the Prophets Bible study that I've been doing. I think I included some concluding type stuff in the last video that was posted last week. But I just wanted to offer a few final thoughts on our prophetic role in the world. When we are baptized, we say that we're baptized as priest, prophet, and king. Well, it only seems fitting to talk maybe a little bit about what it means to be baptized as prophets at our baptism at the end of this series on the biblical prophets. What can we learn from them, from the role of the biblical prophets in the Bible and in their time in history, and what can we say about our time now as in our role as prophets that we have been baptized into? Well, the prophets in the Bible are called by God to be in relation with Him and with their fellow men. And this is true for us too as prophets in the modern world, prophets by baptism. We are called to be in relationship with God and with our fellow men. And this calling is all under God's initiative, but then we respond to that. We say yes, and we enter into this relationship. And what does it mean to be in relationship with God and with the world? God reveals Himself to us, just as He revealed Himself to His prophets. And then, just like the prophets made God known in their time, in their place, we are called to show God to the world. God reveals Himself to us, and then we make God known in the world. We reveal to the world that God is with us in good times and in bad. And another thing, the biblical prophets had their prophetic mission, and we too share in that prophetic mission by our baptism. We are God's messengers to the world. We are active in a concrete place and time within our own, wherever we find ourselves in modern times, wherever we find ourselves, we are active. We are active as God's missionaries, His messengers. And this active role that we have, it shapes history. It has an effect on the world around us, even if we don't always see it. And it touches every aspect of our lives. It's not just what we do at church. It's not just what we do at the parish. But God's influence in our lives extends to every aspect of that. No matter where we are, no matter when we live, the prophets lived back in the biblical times, we live now. Every aspect of our lives should be influenced by this prophetic mission that we've been baptized into. And then the last point that I wanted to just touch on briefly is the role of the prophet in interceding for people. We are called as prophets by our baptism to intercede. And this is especially important. This is especially, we do this especially through our prayer, praying for others. When people are sick, we can pray for them. When they're in a bad place, we can pray for them. Good or bad, we can pray for others. The prophets interceded for God on behalf of the people over and over and over, and we can pray for people over and over and over. The intercessor is the middle point between God and His people. So the prophet is aware of what is wrong, is aware that there's something that is not quite right, that's something that needs to be prayed for. So in particular, we can pray for those who are unaware of what's wrong, of what isn't right, just like the prophets did. But we can also pray for those who can't pray for whatever reason. Maybe they don't know how. Maybe they're not even aware that they can pray. But we can intercede for those people through our prayers. So that's this concludes the look at the prophets that I've been going through. Like I mentioned in the very first video, this was a way of studying for my exam. I took my exam a couple months ago now, and I passed it, so it worked. And I hope you learned something from this, and that this will bear fruit in your lives, and that you've hopefully realized a little bit more what it means to be a prophet, both biblically and when we read scriptures, have come to a greater understanding of what it means to be a prophet, and then also in our world today, what it means to be a prophet from our baptism.